So you found the perfect person in the Philippines that you want to hire. Now, how do you hire them? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so I've been hiring people in the Philippines for almost 9 years. Right now, I've currently got 10 full-time employees here. This is one of my most amazing ones. Would you say that you're the best team member?
I wouldn't say that, but I'm definitely one of the best.
All right, so I'm going to talk about what I've done to hire and to kind of get each team member started. So once I've narrowed down the list of applicants using the virtual assistant tool and I'm ready to contact them, I usually will send an email message to about 30 people. And it's a real short message that briefly says, hey, I looked at your profile, I'm impressed with what I see, and I'm looking to hire somebody for video editor position or podcast editor position. If you're available and you're interested, please reply back and I'll give you more details. So that way it's just a short message, but I can know, hey, do I need to spend my time communicating with them, by their response. When they respond, I'll send them a video recording of myself talking to them. It could just be my webcam, and then I might record my screen a little bit to show them things. That way they get to see me, that I'm a real person. They get to see my company, and I explain that I've been hiring people in the Philippines for a long time. I introduce some of my team members just so they get a sense of confidence about who this potential employer is. And I asked them, what's the big thing that I asked them to do with video?
I think you asked me to record myself using my cell phone and upload it to YouTube and answer a bunch of questions that you've asked in the email.
Yeah, so I like to get a video that's roughly about 5 minutes in length, just to have team members do something uncomfortable. How was that? Pretty uncomfortable?
It was, because it's my first time being on camera and uploading my video on YouTube.
And now here he is on our YouTube channel.
Now here I am.
It's a filter. It's a filter that I use to see, are they willing to do things that are uncomfortable? But obviously it was real helpful for me to be able to see you and to see our other team members. And so that's one thing that I recommend that you do, is have them make you a video to answer a few questions, like what's their experience, why do they want to work for you, what skill sets do they bring to the company, what do they know about your company. Just have them talk on video and then see if they're willing to go through.
You also get to know a part of their personality when you see them on video, which also helps.
Okay, something that I have frequently done is when I've got one position to fill, I've often actually hired 2 people for that same position. And the reason that I've done that is I learned that occasionally you'll hire somebody that just disappears. They kind of flake out, and I guess they really didn't want the job, or maybe they got a better offer at the same time. I don't know, but I've found if I hire 2 people for that position, plan on paying both of them. It's so affordable to hire people here in the Philippines that oftentimes if they both worked out, I could still afford, and I would just find more work. But it's worked out that one person fizzled and one person was reliable. That has then stayed working with me for many years. So that's a key thing. An important thing that I always do is give a trial assignment. So I explain, this is the work that you're going to be doing, and before I get them set up on every single system in Dropbox and with Adobe and paying for all their accounts, I give them, access to the files I need you to edit, as an example for an editor, and say, okay, let's have you do a project, because I would have looked at their portfolio and seen the work that they do, but I just want to make sure. And I definitely pay them for the trial assignment, whether they do well in it or not. But that way I get to see where they're at and how, what coaching they need. And in most of the time, I can't think of an exception. So they do well on the assignment. And then when I say, okay, you did great here and here, can you add this, this, and this? They're always really good at taking my instructions and running with it. But I don't know how you could hire somebody without doing a trial assignment. Maybe the ones that have fizzled out are the ones that haven't done the trial assignments. So that's maybe a good filter as well, why you need to hire 2 people. An important thing to know is when I hire people, how I pay them. I actually use PayPal. I've used different tools over the years, but the one that's been there and I foresee being here long into the future is PayPal. So I use PayPal to...
It's the simplest and easiest for
it's,
both parties.
Sometimes the exchange rate isn't the best as you might find other places, but there's just so little hoops to jump through that it's the easiest and what I consider the best. The last thing that I want to mention about hiring somebody in the Philippines, and this is a really important distinction, because you can hire people on Fiverr. There's platforms that come and go for, like, is Odesk one of them, or just freelance websites. But there's a big difference between hiring somebody for a project
That's right.
versus hiring somebody full time. If you're going to hire somebody full time, the Philippines is amazing.
That is true.
You get amazing people, highly skilled. We've talked about a lot of these benefits or the attributes of the Filipinos, but when you can get somebody that is dedicated to you, I mean, rarely do I hire somebody that has another job, because I want them to be able to fully dedicate their time and energy to our company. And if they only work part-time for me and they work part-time for somebody else, that there's mixed attention. And what if the other company wants to promote them and have them take on more hours? That means that they're going to have to stop working. But also, there's a lot of training that I put into the team. I'm thinking about keyword research.
Right.
That was like a year-long process.
I started with zero knowledge, and I learned everything from you.
I mean, that was a year-long process, but imagine on anything, if I put a lot of time into training you, and then once the project's done, you don't have a job anymore. There's a lot of project basis hires out there. I mean, that's what Fiverr is. It's you just hire people for that project.
Right.
But when you hire people full-time, permanently, long-term in the Philippines, you can put a lot of time into them, and you've just become more and more valuable over the years.
And the employee as well, the who you're hiring as well would feel confident that you're in it. The employer is in it for a long-term relationship. It's not like you're gonna do some work and then your boss is gonna all of a sudden run away, or you might have some work this month, but maybe by next month you'll get fired, or I don't know.
Yeah, so you want a job that's reliable and a company that's dependable.
That's right.
I mean, because I've heard of, it's quite common, and tell me how accurate this is today, but I know that there are a lot of, say the father in a family will get a job.
That's right.
He'll leave to go to another island, or maybe go and work on a cruise ship.
Right, that's right.
But that maybe they're gone for 6 months.
Right.
But then the job is done and they have to come home and find another job.
That's true.
Okay,
it
so
happens a lot.
Everything I said there is true, I guess.
Yep, that's
So
no lie.
that's it's a great advantage to be able to hire somebody permanently working from their home where they don't have to travel, and they love that opportunity to have a long stable job like that. So those are the tips that I have for how to hire somebody once you found them right here in the Philippines. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I've obviously got a lot of experience, 9 years now hiring people in the Philippines. What questions do you still have that I haven't answered yet? So ask those in the comments below, because I would love to make future episodes to answer your questions. We'll see you then.